I want to record the intro for once, and I hope this goes pretty fast. I did push record, right? Yep. So do you have this feeling? I always feel kind of lazy. There's something going, so much going on, and I can't get to everything. Like my poor students are waiting for these videos to upload, and actually I'll upload them today. I have 2 days. I have Friday and Monday finally in YouTube all processed, and now they just need to be linked in Canvas. But they are like 2 or 3 days behind because of that, and so I I don't know, and I feel like I'm behind and I'm lazy, but I'm always doing stuff. Like what more? I couldn't be doing anything more. I could be doing different stuff. So do you have that same feeling? So maybe we will back off a little bit today. I had this ambitious plan. I was going to clean off these little computer lab view things, and each person, or even a team of people who sit next to each other, can do the lab view, and you attach it to a detector. You don't have to touch each other, but one holds the detector and one the computer, and you can like show it. And it gets some really cool data, and it helps with motion and understanding these graphs and things. But there's no way I could have set that up. I got to the end of the workday yesterday, and I was like, oh my goodness. No, there's no way I can get that stuff charged and clean it. And so maybe Thursday. Because tomorrow we have an e-learning day. This is important. Normally you just show up and present your wonderful selves in class. But tomorrow you have to try to turn something in. You have to get the Canvas app on your phone. Don't worry, that's free and really easy. You should try to do it when you have Wi-Fi. You can probably get that one here at school even. And then you take a picture with your phone of the test review, the practice, not the quiz that we did, but the test review. And then you just tell Canvas you want to turn that in to an assignment for this class. And it should be ready to go. If it's not, you can just email me tomorrow before 4 p.m. to say, this is the problem I had. I couldn't get the Canvas app. I couldn't find my picture in my phone. Something, something. Be specific, and that will count as you present. Okay, now you can't correct your test review if I haven't given you the answers, so logging into Canvas will be the way to get them. Okay, and we might try the fun data experiment tomorrow, but for now, we'll just start chapter 3, which is motion in 2 dimensions. So we need vectors, 2-dimensional vectors. That's actually not that bad at all. The clumsy thing is there's a bunch of ways to write them. I think, hey, maybe Andy can guess it. I think your book likes this IJK. So those are supposed to be as a letter I with a triangle hat above it and a letter J. Yes, there would be a K for Z, and sometimes physicists use W, X, Y, Z. We're just going to stop at 2. Okay, there's X and Y. We can look at that. Why use those I's and J's? Somehow physics books and standardized tests are really a fan of I and J, but it just means X and Y. What do you think, Andy? I'm picking on you for a reason. Anything? But it's not that. So this is a silly reason. It's a silly reason that Andy and I have been joking about for several days. So this notation is popular for the solitary reason that someone who liked it and made it up popularized it. It's viral physics notation. It was the favorite of Albert Einstein himself. And so out of silly habit, and because someone popular did it, everyone else has to do it. I despise that IJK notation. This is really similar to Algebra 1 where you just did x comma y for a point. Well, a vector can be placed at the origin, in which case it's exactly the same as an xy point. It's just a line segment directed from the start or from the origin to there. So I just changed those curvy brackets to angles to remind me that it's a vector. And professional physicists doing quantum mechanics, in fact, use those angled brackets. That's where I learned them. So those are fine to use too. If you have a really hard time with either of those, you can just write x with a hat and y with a hat as if you're multiplying next to them to tell you this part is x and this part is y. Okay, and you usually put a plus or minus or whatever between them, whatever's applicable, because they don't add together, because they have those separate hats. It's like a separate term in the equation. We always keep them separate. But since we're not even adding them or anything, I love my little brackets. Okay? We're going to draw the vectors. On the test, you just have to read them. Although starting in chapter 4, you do have to draw some. So we'll start off nice and simple. You draw them with the appropriate magnitude. So if one vector is twice or 3 times as long as the other, it should appear that way on your paper, or pretty close. Okay? But vectors don't just add and subtract with plus and minus. They add geometrically. And today I've got to show you what that means. Any questions so far? Okay. I'll give you a little minute to write that down. That was a 5-minute intro. You know what? Let's pause there because I'll be over 15 minutes on the next one.